Vice President Agnew has called the Panthers a completely irresponsible, anarchistic group of criminals.
Hoover decided that, for some reason, the Panthers were the most dangerous organization in the United States, even more dangerous than the Communist Party or the Mafia. And so he ordered them essentially destroyed.
Directives issued by FBI headquarters called for, quote, imaginative and hard-hitting counterintelligence measures aimed at crippling the Black Panther Party.
The FBI set out to neutralize the Black Panther Party any way they could. They wanted to neutralize Bunchy Carter. He used the term neutralize, but nobody ever defined the term.
Neutralizing means a lot of things, including murdering. Neutralizing our entire movement.
As one communication went to Washington said, we bring these two groups together and let nature take its course.
It became clear that what they had to do was turn another organization against us, which was the Panthers.
COINTELPRO was doing its mischief in attempting to pit the two organizations against each other. It got to the points where there was clearly almost a state of war that was existing between the two organizations.
We could all feel that there was something going on that was bigger than us.
The FBI had created this tension, but you had these two groups that, when they saw each other on the street, it was just a natural confrontation. They were making all kinds of suggestions and writing letters, and they had cartoons made up showing Ron Karenga with his feet up on a desk and things like that, and marking off Bunchy Carter and John Huggins, and things to do today. These were cartoons that were created by FBI agents.
We didn't really know. Nobody believed that the FBI wanted to be bothered with some little Negroes in L.A. trying to organize themselves and so on and so forth. At the same time, they were sending the same stuff to them.
Some kind of memorandum was uncovered from the FBI, which declared, though we did not pull the trigger on that day, January 1969, we did cause the unrest that preceded it.
Well, I felt pretty bad because most of it was really crap. It was a waste of time. We destroyed a lot of lives, and I always deny that, but
It was a line in the book that said the Crips and Bloods are the bastard offspring of the political parties of the 60s. The leadership falling apart in the Black Panther Party, the US organization, and most of the gangs were born out of the demise of those parties. So out of the ashes of the Black Panther Party came, gangs, Crips, Bloods, etc.
We was taught that we want power. Power go to your head. When you learn the power of violence, it can be devastating.
One of the great racist myths in this country is the death of the black family, or the non-existent black family. And people trace this back to slavery. Black Americans have never had family structures. There's not a more obnoxious, or misleading myth around. If you actually look at the figures, the collapse of the black family occurs in the 1970s, and occurs in direct proportion as, young black men are just systematically shut out of the labor market.
The drug problem is colorblind. While it's portrayed in much of America as being a black inner city problem, if it were a black inner city problem, there wouldn't be all the traffickers here, because there's not enough money in the inner city to make it worth their while. The suppliers from overseas see the people in the inner city as people who are very eager to do the marketing, because there's a big pool of talent there that is unemployed, underemployed, and boy, if nobody else wants to use them, these guys certainly know how to get in and make use of them.
Once the drug trade hit, like I said, it mobilized us. We started getting out of the neighborhood because we got cars, we got money. We started trying to go where normal mainstream civilians went. And that would be like Westwood, Magic Mountain, Disneyland, all the American dream stuff. We would try to detach ourselves from our ghetto lifestyle and our ghetto world. I see my enemy in Westwood, or I see my enemy in Hollywood, where I'm trying to go to the movies, and that was because the Crips had the same idea. Once they got money, hey, let's get out the ghetto, let's get off the block. As long as we were killing each other in our own little backyard from 1969 up to 1985 or 86, whatever it was, when we started getting out of our neighborhoods, it was okay. But the minute our mess spilled over into the next man's living room or the next man's neighborhood, that's when the police said, oh, hell, you know, we got a gang problem.
The words crime and war on drugs, in effect, had a political agenda attached to them. And what we're going to do is we're going to be tough on those black people.
That was not Crips they were after black people.
Operation Hammer was both a kind of Vietnamization of police repression in LA, you know, introducing these mass sweeps, you know, just like, you know, strategic operations in Vietnam, round up all the peasants, but in this case, round up all the black youth in this theory. And at the same time, generalizing this theory about the hardcore juvenile offender and applying it to every black youth in the city.
These were not criminals, and these were not gang members. These were just ordinary people, and many of them spent time in jail. Okay, this is a harassment that is the prelude to even going to jail and the building of the jails now.
That's the new prison they're building right across the street from the project.
Now what's happening in California is really, I mean, a holocaust of a generation, putting an entire generation of people into prison. And so you're left with this weird situation where perhaps one part of the black community, part of the black middle class, is found unprecedented mobility. But I think for, you know, many, many working class, you know, African Americans, this is a moment of incredible peril. It's in some ways comparable to the 1890s and the grip of Jim Crow. But now it's, you know, now it's the prisons that are, you know, designed no longer to rehabilitate or even particularly to punish. That's not the point. It's of human storage, warehousing a whole stratum of people that we no longer need, you know, in the American economy.
From the Christian Crusaders to present-day Christian politicians, you exploit people all over the world under the name of competition and capitalism. There is nothing wrong with capitalism, which can be done by taking advantage of opportunities to create win-win situations and not exploiting people by creating win-lose situations. The same way the money changers were doing in the temple. Some of the best money changers in the world today claim to be Christians. So today, we are turning over your tables again and forever taking back Christ's association with that name and replacing it with an asterisk. And now God's children will go back to be called the way. I am the way, the truth, and life. The sons of God will be called the way.